Hi, this is Brent Campbell, and I'm very excited to be reporting to you from my friend Jack's driveway. He's got an X5M, an i8, and an Alpina B7, which is this crazy gussied up 7 Series with 600 horsepower. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this i8 here. He was kind enough to let me drive it for a half hour or so, and it's not like anything I've ever driven before. It has 357 horsepower through 2 motors. In the front, you have an electric 129 horsepower engine that powers the front wheels, and then in the back, there's a 3-cylinder twin turbo that produces 229 horsepower out of 1.5 liters, which is a higher output per liter than anything I've ever heard of before. You combine the two and it's 357 horsepower. And it's interesting to me that my 11-year-old M3 has 333 horsepower, weighs about 3,400 pounds, which is what the i8 weighs, and it'll do 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. This one will do 60 in 3.8 seconds. So it's astonishing to me that it can achieve that level of performance on basically the same output as the M3, and the reason has to be all the torque that's available through the twin turbo, as well as the immediate power surge that comes from the electric motor. In terms of driving the car, it's certainly not like anything I've ever experienced through a gasoline powered car. And granted, this is gasoline powered, but it's far more efficient. This particular car has been averaging 24.5 miles per gallon, but he's been driving the snot out of it. You know, I would think the way that he's been driving it on my M5, he'd be getting about 6 or 7 miles per gallon. So it's still about as efficient as a 4-cylinder car, but it moves like crazy. And if you were to drive it efficiently in the eco mode, certainly the 40 miles per gallon and significantly higher starts to make a lot of sense. Jeremy Clarkson did a video comparing the new M3 with the i8, and I think he does a much better job than I could ever at describing how it all works, and how, in fact, the harder you drive it, the more efficient it ends up being, because it retains all of the energy that you burn up when you're driving it hard. The driving experience is interesting. It's incredibly tight. It drives like a hybrid, and the only hybrid I've ever driven is a Prius, which is certainly not an exciting driving experience at all. But it's tight, it's efficient, it has this energy noise that's piped into it that sounds really good. I realize it's fake, but it still sounds great. And then when you're driving it at speed, it feels light, it feels capable, but it doesn't have that same thrust sound and feel that you get from a gasoline powered car. And I think that's to its credit. It's different. It's not necessarily better in my view, but it's different and it's interesting, and it's no doubt the future. And I would say, you know, once I move on from the M5, I can't imagine ever selling my M3, but if I ever move on from the M5, it will be to get something like this. So this is one of the coolest things about the car. As you can see, this is all carbon fiber. It seems like the exterior is of aluminum or steel even. But the attention to detail and the lightweight structure of it. I love the design cues here. The car unfortunately is filthy, so it's not showing it off to its full advantage. But the little details are just extraordinary. And the gullwing doors are just awesome. You look at the hinges here. Actually, I can show it a little bit better on the other side. You close it. So why don't we go ahead and just get inside the car and I can show you what that's like. There's a technique involved with getting in. You put your butt in first, and then you put the rest of your body in. So in order to open the door, you press this button and then you just push it. Easy as can be. And then for starting it up. Okay, so we are in comfort mode in this BMW i8. Pretty slick graphics here, although I'm more of an analog sort of guy. But at least this gives us a flavor. So we're about to hit the highway, so I'm going to put it into sport mode, which changes the dynamics completely. I'm going to experiment a little bit here and see how this goes. I apologize for the shaky video. I couldn't figure out a good way to mount this thing. So I'm having to hold the camera while we shoot this. Alright, I'm in, this is Brent Campbell, and we are in my friend Jack's i8, and I'm here to tell you this thing is a rocket. It only has 357 horsepower, but boy does it move. Okay, so we're gonna get on here. 97. Like it's nothing. So it shifts for me. I like cruising down the street. Well, so you have the power when you
now there's nothing.
Want it.
Now we're in electric mode on.
And then when you're just cruising down the street and you're not going to enjoy yourself anyway, it's nice and quiet, comfortable, and you're getting what? What's the fuel economy that we're getting right now? Is there any way to gauge that? It says 24.5 up here, so you've averaged 24.5.
But I've driven the crap out of it.
Oh, I know you have.